All right, guys, what is going on? My name is Jordan Eckel, 22 years old. If you guys don't know me, I want to introduce myself really quickly here. When I first got started in Eye.Am Mastery Academy, it was about almost 2 years ago, about a year and 10 months ago. And realizing when I first got started, even before I got started, I was in college and I was playing basketball. But the thing is, I was only in school because I wanted to play basketball. I didn't want to go get a degree. I didn't want to go get a job. The only reason I was in school was to play basketball. So naturally, I was looking for other ways to make money because I knew that a job wasn't going to be for me long term. So realizing that an opportunity to make money on my phone came about, I was looking to get into stocks. I was looking to get into something online. I was watching Gary Vee. I was watching a little bit of Tony Robbins. I was watching some of these people, personal development. I had read Think and Grow Rich in high school, and I was already on the right track as far as mentally understanding that the system that was created for us is not the system that is going to be effective for us moving forward. The system we are currently in, education, financial system, health, all these things are really outdated and it's really not efficient for the future. So I realized that, and right away, all my homie K-Rob, he might be on this call, I'm not even sure. Well, all he told me was, yo, Eckel, there's these guys, they know what they're doing, they're making money on their phone. We're going to go ahead and learn from them. We're going to copy them. And I said, all right, bet. What is there to lose? And I found out it was $200. No problem. I had some money saved up. $200 risk. Okay, well, if it doesn't work, well, I lost $200. And guess what? If it does work, I may never need a job again. And guess what? The second one just happened to be the case. 9 to 10 months into the business, into trading, I was Platinum 1000. I was making an extra around $200 a week trading or so. And the combination of those two plus my savings, I was good to go. I was good to quit my job. I left my parents' house. And guys, just within a year, I was able to never need a job again. It's been over a year later. I still have never worked a job, made more money than I've ever made, traveled to all these places. And I only say this to you guys so you understand who it is you are listening to right now. I'm not just some random person on this call. I'm here to help you, and I have a lot of experience. I'm one of the most experienced people on this team in this nation. Big shout out to Mr. Wall Street Ray. He was the one that taught me in the beginning. He was the one that was hopping on those three-way calls with me. He was doing one-on-one trainings with me. Back when he only had 20 people on his team, I was one of those people. So understand, guys, that I've seen the ups and downs. I've seen blown accounts. I've seen flipped accounts. I've seen huge momentum in the business. I've seen huge pullbacks. Guys, I've seen it all. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. So what I can tell you guys before we even get into the charts is make a decision. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till the next week. Make a decision right now on this call that you are committed to getting to the next level. You are committed to making this work out for you guys, because if it can work for me, if it can work for Wall Street Ray, why can't it work for you? Okay, understand that trading works. There's no question about that. There's people that make 7 figures, 8 figures, 9 figures in the market. There's no question that trading works. We all know this, but it's the fact that do you work and are you consistent enough and willing enough to grow as an individual so that you can handle what it takes to be a trader, okay? And if you're one of those people that's very impatient and you're very greedy, guys, understand that's not who you are. That's just your habits right now. You're going to have to reprogram your subconscious mind. You're going to have to create new habits. Guys, I was a very greedy person when I first came into the market. So I want you guys to understand, when I first started, I dropped a standard on a live account. It was a $300 account before I even finished the academy, okay? So understand, I was a very greedy trader. I had dropped a standard on a live account before finishing the academy, okay? I was very impatient. I was closing early. I was just entering impulsively. Guys, I asked in the chat, I said, Ray, what do you think about gold? He said, oh, I think it'll go up. And I bought immediately. It wasn't a signal. It wasn't a chart. It was literally speculation. So understand, guys, I was very impatient. I was very greedy. But over the course of these last 2 years, I was able to develop new habits. I was able to remove those old bad habits and create new ones. Because realize, guys, for you to become a trader, for those of you that are building the business, of course, you're going to have a little bit of support with the money coming in from that. But in the long term, for you to make money consistently with trading, guys, whether it's signals or whether it's your own, you got to understand that you're going to have to become disciplined and you're going to have to become emotionally intelligent, okay? And you're going to have to actually have a plan for what you're about to do before you enter the markets. Realize that trading is not a gambling, it's not a lotto machine, it's an investment. So as an investor, you must approach the markets as an investor, and you must realize, where is it smart to put my money that can minimize the risk and maximize the reward? That's how you have to look at trading. Don't look at trading as, well, I can make $10,000 next week. I just got to flip my account. Guys, we've all done this. We've all tried this. Unless you're Jake Wood, that doesn't work, okay? I promise you. I've seen Jake Wood flip $75 to $4,000. I've seen him do $25 to $1,200. I've seen him do – there's people that can do it, guys. Understand that once you are an experienced trader, you've mastered your emotions, you've mastered your strategy, then, of course, you can go ahead and go do those things. You can go make those 6 figures and 7 figures. But right now, for you on this call, I'd like to get a kind of an estimate of how long have you guys actually been trading? So everyone on this call, all 46 of you, please just say one time how many months or how many weeks you guys have been trading involved, so I can get a kind of a little perspective on it for you. Okay? 1 month, 1 year, 10 months, okay, 5 months, 2 months, 1 year, 3 months. All right, bet. Okay, so I want to tell you guys a little bit of a story. So 6 months into this whole journey, guys, I was negative 3,000 trading, and I was platinum 150, okay? So a lot of you guys may have quit at that point in time. But what I had realized was the reason why I lost the money had nothing to do with the platform. It had nothing to do with my mentors. It had nothing to do with the education. And it had everything to do with me. So guys, while you're on this call, stop blaming your problems on someone else and accept responsibility, because we all know that we are our only problem and our only solution, okay? Do not take that lightly, and understand that until you accept full responsibility for your life and your actions and for your relationships and your income, for all of it, until you take full, complete, 100% responsibility, you're not going to get to where you want to go. I'm going to say that one more time. Until you take full responsibility for your actions, for your emotions, for everything that's in your life, you're not going to get where you want to go. But guess what? Once you do take full responsibility, it's the most empowering feeling, because you can get anywhere you want to go. And for those of you that are getting off this call, I'm not really sure, why you're getting off this call. And I'm going to tell you guys right now that trading is 10% of the charts, 90% what's going on in your head. So understand this. When there's news going on, that you have to be aware of this. So go ahead and write down Forex Factory. For those of you that are new, that you don't know about Forex Factory, write down Forex Factory. You want to be aware of upcoming news events, okay? You want to be aware of upcoming news events. That's number one. Always be aware of it. You don't have to trade the news events. You don't have to avoid news events necessarily, but you want to be at least aware of them, okay? We've all been in this situation. If you've been trading long enough, you've been in the situation where you were in a trade without a stop loss and news took you the other way, or the news skipped past your stop loss. It's happened to me several times. But guys, once again, I appreciate you guys for being on this call. I'm going to do my best to share the most value with you guys. Understanding that trading, guys, please don't think that, oh, well, you're not even looking at the charts. What are you talking about, guys? The charts have nothing to do with trading. Literally, the charts have nothing to do with trading. Okay? Why is it that Luke Longmire can make 7 figures off break and retest? And why is it that Manny Quinones can make 7 figures off the harmonic scanner? And why is it that Zach and Jordan can make 7 figures off of smart money? Guys, it's because the strategy doesn't matter. It's the fact that, can you stick with one strategy and follow the rules? That's it. It doesn't matter what your strategy is. Of course, some are better than others. We know smart money gives us precise entries, the best risk to reward. We know that, right? So, of course, that's a great strategy, but you don't have to trade smart money to be a successful trader. You don't have to trade break and retest. You don't have to trade. It doesn't matter, guys. Pick a strategy. Pick an educator that you relate with. When I first started out, guys, my first $600, $500 I made in trading was literally taking teacups that I learned from Asaldo on Go Live. So what I'm going to show you guys right now is Go Live. And if you guys don't know what this is, let me just take it back a step. For you guys that have never logged into Go Live, can you guys, first of all, can you drop a 1 in the chat if you have never logged into Go Live? If you don't know what Go Live is, I would like to see if anyone does not know what I'm talking about. Is everyone use Go Live? Well, if you haven't, guys, if you're new, go to the beginners, go to the intermediates, whatever. All right. I can literally go check how many trophies you guys see. I have 237 experience points. Okay. I plug into the system. Although, yes, I can take my own trades and make money, but okay, Jacqueline. So Go Live. Eye.Am.Center is where you guys want to go. Eye.Am.Academy is the old website. So if you guys are still using that, start using Eye.Am.Center, because after London, Eye.Am Academy, if I'm not mistaken, is not going to exist anymore. So get used to Eye.Am.Center. That's the new platform. It's been a transition. We're getting everything set up with it. So check this out. We have the academies right here. We have Forex, English, Spanish. We have all kinds of languages, whatever. Business resources. But if you go down, Pip Talk, all of the educators have their own Pip Talk. Okay? And if you have the apps, you can see, if you've purchased the add-ons, you can see the specific trades from the educators in each app. Okay? They give you updates. If you want to go live, go live is the live education. You guys, we have some amazing traders on our team, right? But realize that the money that you pay for is for the platform. The platform has provided us multiple 6- and 7-figure traders, people that are successful over a period of time, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever the case may be. These people have proven track records. You know how difficult it is to become on Go Live? You have this whole system you have to go through to be on an app. You know how consistent you have to be over what period of time, guys? These aren't just random people. Like, these aren't just your random people that have been trading for 3 months, 6 months. Like, these guys have done it over and over on a consistent basis. So what I want you guys to see right now, for those of you that trade, smart money, you've been on Coffee and Pips, you've seen Zach and Jordan. Can you drop a 1 in the chat? 1 in the chat. If you've been watching Smart Money, you've been learning a little bit about smart money. Can you drop a 1 in the chat? 1 in the chat. Well, I want to give you guys an announcement. I don't know if you guys know this. I literally just found this out like an hour ago. But if you guys want to pay attention, guys, if you don't want to miss out what I'm about to say, you really do not want to miss out what I'm about to say. So, guys, if you guys are, if you have your phones, if you have your cameras off and you're, scrolling or whatever, this is your cue to turn your camera on and pay attention to what I'm about to say. Okay. So, starting on February 4th, we will be having access to live trading sessions with Zach and Jordan. Starting on February 4th, we will be having live trading sessions. So the people that are the ones teaching the smart money, Zach and Jordan, right? You guys know that they have their power hour, they have their Forex encrypted, whatever. They're showing their previous setups. They're showing future setups, right? Starting on February 4th, for those that have bounce back. So if you guys don't have bounce back, I will go ahead and get bounce back just for this alone. They're going to be doing a bounce back session, and you guys realize their bounce back is literally just them doing live set. They're doing a live trading session starting on February 4th. They haven't released the schedule yet, but they're going to be doing it at New York Open, okay? They're going to be doing it at New York Open. So I believe that's the same time as Coffee and Pips, so we'll probably coordinate something there. But they're starting it. That is literally what Zach said today on his session. I just watched the recording. Starting February 4th, they'll be trading the London Open, the New York Open, which is 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain. They'll be trading live. The snipers of the snipers, Mr. Pew Pews, whatever you want to call them, they're trading live February 4th. Write that down. Bounce back. You're probably going to have to get bounce back to get that. It's like $10 or $20 or whatever it is. Their setups are going to pay that 10 times over. So don't even worry about that. Check this out. So let me go ahead and show you guys a little bit about news before I get into the charts, because this is really important. Tomorrow, there's a really major news event. One of the top 3 news events that there is in Forex history, and it's USD FOMC statement. The FOMC statement, very powerful, impactful news. On average, it pushes gold about 200 pips, within 5 to 15 minutes. So realize that it's going to be a powerful move. Keep in mind with that. If you're in any trades by noon, make sure your stop loss is break even. That's all I'm going to tell you. I'm not saying you can't trade it, but be aware, okay? And next week is where the most news, probably one of the biggest news weeks the entire year is next week. So next week, we also have GBP. So GBP, you guys trade GBP, JPY, GBP, USD. They're kind of setting up right now. So if you're going to trade those, keep in mind tomorrow morning around New York Open, somewhere, I'm not really sure what time zone my Forex Factory's in right now, but it's in the morning tomorrow. There's GBP news. Any type of news that's a statement or a bank rate or a report is typically, it's a piece of paper with data on it, meaning that the institutions know the information, they know the direction that the market's about to move. That's why it moves so fast all at once, because they get the information in the data. Why do you think the market moves the 30 seconds, 5 seconds before the news? it's because they probably have the information before they release it to the public, right? So next week, if you guys didn't know, there's NZD unemployment, there's odd cash rate, and there is NFP. So be aware of next week. It's going to be a pretty volatile week of news. And for those of you that don't know the impact of news or what that even means, realize that news is typically an excuse to move the market to where it was already going. That's A. Or B, to impulsively move the market to where a pocket of money is so it can mitigate or reject, right? That's typically what news does. It either just takes it off one direction, the way it's supposed to go, or it takes it the other direction to make a wick. Okay, that's typically what news does. So those of you that trade smart money, news is a good time to watch because a lot of times it will set you up for an entry. Odd cash rate tomorrow or Monday. NZD unemployment, expect a 200 pip move on NZD that day. On GN, probably 300, 400 pips, and I'm talking like in less than an hour. The majority of it in the first 5 minutes. So realize, guys, it's a very impactful news. You don't want to like just be in a random trade and not know about it. Like, you guys want to be aware of it. NZD is very impactful. So a lot of times I've seen on NZD news, I have been trading news for about a year now. Now back tested the last 2 years. NZD unemployment or cash rate, one of the two, I can't remember which one. Typically by the end of the week, it comes all the way back to where it started. So say NZD USD takes off 200 pips for the buy, be really, really patient. Maybe later in the night, look for a sell, because a lot of the times by the end of the week, it ends up back where it started. And I've noticed that over several months and months of trading news, that a lot of times news will do that. It'll take off price impulsively one direction, but later on in the week, it's got to come back and mitigate what it hit before it took off. So a lot of times, you can really catch that entry. So be aware of that. And then, of course, next Friday, we have NFP and CAD unemployment. Very volatile for USD and CAD. Make sure that if you are a beginner, just watch it from the sidelines, trade on your demo account. Don't try to enter trades, because on NFP, guys, I've seen gold go up 20 pips, down 20 pips in a matter of like a tenth of a second. So realize that you don't want to be in a situation where the spread increases and you're entering a position that's nowhere near where it actually is. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go over here to the charts. And for those of you that don't know, in my personal experience, I have found the most success by focusing on one pair. Okay. One of my mentors, one of the people that I look up to in trading, what he told me was, it takes one pair to be a millionaire. It takes one pair to be a millionaire. You probably want to write that one down. For more advanced traders, you see a lot more advanced traders, they'll probably take on a lot more pairs. But when you're starting out, at the very least, you want to focus on 1, 2, maybe 3 pairs at the most. And realizing that if you can know how a pair moves, you can literally just wait on the setup, and you don't have to look for the best. Oh, what's the best setup today? I got to get in a trade. Let me look at 6 pairs. Oh, what's the best trade? Guys, I only trade gold. That's the only pair I trade. Sometimes I'll trade GJ, UJ, GU. I'm actually back testing them right now. I'm going to add them to my repertoire within the next few weeks. I'm going to back test them for at least a month live before I even live trading, as in on my demo, before I even will take a live trade with them, because I haven't traded them. I've been focusing on gold for the last year, almost year and a half now. With that being said, with gold, you can typically find 3 to 5 really good setups a week. And, with the increased volatility, you can probably catch more if you're scalping and stuff like that. But let me write this out for you guys. When it comes to trading plan, I want you guys to understand the importance of a trading plan and realize that I'm not just making this stuff up, and realize that if you're ignoring what I'm saying, you're going to lose money. So I'm literally going to be straight up with you. If you don't have a trading plan, in the long term, you're going to lose money. And I can literally promise you that. If you don't have any type of plan, you're going to end up losing money some way or another, because you haven't fully thought out what makes you enter a trade, what makes you exit a trade, what makes you manage the trade in between. Yeah, you can randomly enter, you can take a signal, you can decide on intuition when to enter and when to exit and when to do this. You can do that, guys, but realize we are humans, okay? We're not perfect. We're not going to be consistent for 10 years straight without specific written rules right in front of our face. And if you guys have seen If you guys have seen Skaggs, if you guys have heard about Skaggs, you can even see him, like his trading plan is a lot more extensive than mine. But I'm adding to it, and he will tell you he's been trading for, I could be wrong, but I believe about 5 years, 3 to 5 years, 6 years. I'm not really sure on that. You'd have to ask him, but he's been trading a lot longer than me. So, that's where I got one of my ideas of getting the trading plan. The other was Luke Longmire. Lucas Longmire on Go Live. I actually started trading gold because of him. Remember what I said at the very beginning of my trading journey? I was watching Lisaldo Tavares. He was trading teacups, right? The most simple strategy there is. And when Gold Cup was created, I was actually in the platform. I was in the company. I was actually a customer at the time. Wasn't even P150 yet when Gold Cup was created. And when Gold Cup was created, that's when I was introduced to Luke Longmire. And he had this Telegram chat called Gold Rush at the time. And Lisaldo had teacups on IML TV is what it was called at the time. Now it's Go Live. And basically, once I started seeing Luke Longmire, I started trading gold instead because I really liked the way he waited for the candle confirmation. And guys, price tells you the story, okay? Price tells you the story. With gold, there's certain candlesticks that I have backtested over a long period of time. I've seen how it moves, what zones to look for these candles in. Is like, where am I trading it at and what am I looking forward to enter? What's the risk or reward? There's so many different things, right? But I'm going to get into it so you guys can see it, right? So trading plan, the simplest way you can put this is, number one, what pair or pairs? That's your first step. What are you actually trading? What are you trading? Are you just looking at the charts? Are you looking at 20 different pairs? Because if you are, guys, odds are you're going to be confused and you're not going to be able to keep up, okay? As a brand new trader, I highly recommend 1 to 2 pairs at the most, okay? Once you have mastered 1 to 2, then you can go ahead and add a third, okay? Why do you think I'm just now adding a second pair? I've been trading gold for over a year now, right? I've been trading for gold as my main pair, only pair for over a year, okay? What pair, what pairs, what time? Because here's the thing, guys, with trading, the reason why most of us are here trading is because we want to make money and not have to spend the time at a job, right? So don't sit there and stare at the charts all day long because you're literally trading a job for a job. If you look at the charts the whole day, that's a job, okay? So pick a specific time. I would recommend New York session or London session, whether it's a 2-hour, 3, 4-hour window, whatever the case may be, whatever works for your schedule. Pick a period of time where you're going to look at the charts and execute a setup that you have already written down that you're going to enter off of, okay? And if you don't know what that means, if you don't even know what I'm talking about right now, what I want you to do, if you don't know what strategy to use, pick one Go Live educator, watch them every day for 90 days straight, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you have not personally sat on Go Live and watched the same educator for 90 days straight or 6 weeks straight, 8 weeks straight, I don't think you fully mastered a strategy or you fully grasped the concept of what a strategy is. Maybe you're just entering what you think. But I will tell you guys, that's what helped me, and that's what's helped Ray. I don't know if you guys know this, but Ray, before he had all that success in trading, that he was on Lex Wave sessions every single day for, I think, a year straight of watching Lex Waves every single morning, Monday through Friday. Boom, 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 boom. The compound effect is real, guys. Don't expect to get on one session and master trading. Don't expect to take one signal and be the one that retires you guys. Be realistic here and understand that this is a process, but also at the same time, understand that trading, check out my tabs, guys, infinite, right? So me knowing we are infinite, that is why I'm doing trading, because there's no cap on my income. If I knew we're infinite spiritual beings, we can create anything, right? From the spirit into physical. If I know this, why would I settle for a job and limit my income? Why would I limit my opportunity to explore the world? Why would I limit any of that, knowing that an opportunity like Forex is right at my doorstep? Realizing that it may be a process. It may take me 5 years. Guys, if it takes you 5 to 10 years to master trading and then never have to worry about money again, guys, is that worth it? What are you going to do instead? You're going to go back to the job for the next 40 years? You guys realize most of the jobs you're working right now will not even exist in 40 years? They won't even exist in the next 10 to 15 years, guys. Be realistic and understand, guys, that economically, the things that are going on right now, how many jobs are getting replaced? How many companies, how many businesses don't even need humans there anymore? Everything is digitalized right now. Like, think about Walmart. They barely have any cash registers with people anymore. Like, it's literally all just scanning it on yourself, by yourself, right? How many banks and how many phone companies, when you call them, it's an automated system. You don't even talk to a real person until you're on the phone for 10 minutes. All these things all these jobs that we have, we don't need people for them anymore. So realize, guys, really understand that Forex is the future. Everyone's going to be trading. So you guys might as well master it now, because you quit now, you're going to come back a year later wishing you wouldn't have quit. So no matter how long it takes you, realize that 3 to 5 years of doing this is better than just not even trying and just, well, I just can't figure it out. Guys, remember what I told you guys. When I first started, I was very greedy. I was very impatient. But I have learned and I have developed new habits. It's literally impossible to become a master trader without becoming a greater version of yourself, because trading is a reflection of you. How you act on the charts is a reflection of you. And I'll say one more thing on this topic. Those of you that want to master trading, first start mastering your own finances, because odds are if you can't keep money in your bank account, you're not going to be able to keep money in your trading account. So for those of you that have very limited money, and I'm not throwing shots at anyone, I'm being real with you guys right now. If you guys don't have a lot of money in your bank account, don't think this is the way that you're just going to all of a sudden get rich, because you guys have to learn how to manage your money. It's about money. It's not necessarily what you have, because if you can't control what's coming in, it's just going to come right back out. Okay. If you make $10,000, but then you spend $11,000 and then you're $1,000 in credit debt. Okay. Now, how are you going to manage a 6-figure income if you can't manage a 5-figure income? How are you going to manage a 5-figure income if you can't manage a 4-figure income? You guys, does this make sense to you guys? Drop a 1 in the chat if this makes sense. You have to be able to handle the money that's coming in right now before you can get more. The universe will not give you more money until you can handle what you have right now. You're not going to get more blessings until you are grateful for what you have and are able to manage it, okay? But guys, it's fine, okay? It's not the end of the world, because like I said, no matter what habits you have right now, you're going to develop new ones. You have to be patient and you have to take the right steps. So I'm going to do the best I can to show you guys how to take those steps so that you can stop losing money. And like I said, guys, 6 months in, I was negative 3,000, 6 months in. And that was nothing to do with trading, had nothing to do with the platform, had nothing to do with my mentors, but it had everything to do with me. And I bet you guys, a lot of you on this call are in the same situation. Maybe not that to that extent, but the reason why you're losing money is 100% because of you, and you know that, okay? And like I said, you have to accept responsibility for that, because there's people that are making a lot of money. What are they doing? Warren Buffett said this. He said, trading is the passing of money from impatient people to patient people. So guys, here's what I recommend you do. Make a trading plan, whether it takes you a week to make, a month to make, a day to make a specific trading plan. What trade are you taking? What pairs are you trading? What session, okay? What zone are you entering off of? What entry confirmation? What are all your confirmations to enter? Okay, what are all these things? I'm gonna give you guys an example. Number 3 is, like I said, confirmations. Confirmation / setup. What is your strategy? What is your setup? What do you like to trade off of? Okay, and that's something that you make for yourself. And I recommend you guys, until you develop your own strategy, pick one educator and copy them exactly. And as time goes on, 90 days, 120 days, you start to develop your own twist to it. Okay, because no 2 traders trade exactly the same. There's always some type of twist. There's always something that I see that Kyle doesn't see. There's something that Renee sees that I don't see. There's always something that I back tested that you haven't, and you back tested that I haven't. But guess what? It doesn't matter what makes sense to me. It matters what makes sense to you. And only you will know that through experience. So I can tell you all these things, but realize experience is the greatest teacher, especially in trading. Experience is the greatest teacher. Okay. The last one here is ROI goal / PIP goal, whatever it is for you, however you want to do it. But you should have some type of, for me, for example, my rule is the worst risk reward I will ever enter a trade is 1 to 2. Like, I will never enter a trade that's not at least 1 to 2. That's a very strict rule that I go by. I will, if I see a setup, I know it's going to go 20 pips, but I have to put a 30 pip stop loss. I'm not taking it. Why? Because that does not follow my rules. Okay. Let me put this in perspective for you guys. If you follow your trading plan and lose, that's a successful trade. If you don't follow your trading plan and you win, it's a fail of a trade because you didn't follow your rules. For you to be consistent long term, when I say long term, I'm talking 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, You have to have specific rules that you consistently follow over and over and over, guys. Trading will become boring, but you'll make so much more money. You'll stop losing money when you have specific rules. Yeah, guys, it will probably be boring because you take the emotions out of it, but you're going to make so much more money in the long term. Not right now. Of course, you may not make that much right now, but consistently over a period of time. And what is the rush, guys, with trading? What is the rush? How many of you guys, can you guys drop a 1 in the chat if A, you're in college or you have been to college? Can you drop a 1 in the chat? If you're in college, okay, right? So how many years, you can type this as well. How many years did you have to go to college to get the degree? Or how many, right, 4 years, 5 years? Those of you that are in other 5, 4, right? So you're telling me, listen, tell me if this makes sense. You're willing to take 5 years of classes, college, rack up X amount of debt, a lot of times 5 figures, multiple 5 figures of debt, don't get paid at all for those 5 years. And then by the end of those 5 years, maybe get a job that pays you. And even the job that you get paid, guys, you guys realize I had a friend that their student loan debt was $28,000, right? Within 6 years of paying it off, they owed another $28,000 because of the interest. Guys, come on now, guys. Drop out of college and learn how to trade, okay? Get your tool free and it's free. You don't even have to worry about it. Take your time, learn as long as you want, right? Take as much time as you need to learn because this skill set will set you free. It will, if you let it, okay? Get out of your own way and be consistent over a period of time. Trading is not for everyone, guys. A lot of you guys on this call, maybe you're not willing to develop as a person. Maybe your ego is too big to the fact that you're not going to accept the information that I'm giving you right now. Maybe your ego is too big that you're attached to the idea that you're impatient and you're greedy and you're not willing to change, guys. Kevin Trudeau, your wish, your command, he said, what is your teachability index? What is your willingness to learn? A, what is your willingness to change? How many of us know that you shouldn't over leverage, yet we still do it? How many of us know we shouldn't close our trade early, but we still do it? How many of us know these things, yet we're not willing to change? Like I said, you must be willing to learn and willing to change. No matter how impatient and greedy you are, I was the same way. 2 years later, I have not needed a job in the last year. Simple, okay? My results are not going to be yours. Yours are not going to be the next. I had people on my team that quit their job faster than I did, way faster. I had people on my team that have been trading for 6 months that are making more money than me. So realize that, guys, it happens. People can come in and learn this. And that's why I say that don't be selfish with the skill set. Don't be the one that's like, I have to make so much money trading before I can share this with anyone else. Because there's going to be people that you can change their life, whether you figure this out first or not. Maybe they can be the one to come in and teach you. You guys know Emery Holmes, Mr. Banks, Chairman 100. You guys know he has over a dozen educators on his team. He has dozens of educators on his team. That they all make more money trading than him. But they wouldn't even have known about trading if he didn't tell them. Right? So how many lives did he change because he wasn't too selfish to think that, oh, I have to master trading to do. Guys, we have master traders a part of the platform that are teaching us. You're not sharing this with someone because you're a master. You're sharing this because you know the master. And you don't even have to share it. It's just, guys, it's going to make your process so much easier when you're just think about how many of you guys have $50 accounts and you're struggling trying to flip it to 300 so you can pay for rent. So that you have a $100 account, you have to flip it to 200 to pay for your subscription, guys. Like, let's stop running in quicksand right now. Like let's realize that no matter who you are, where you're from, you can figure this out, guys. You have to be willing to learn and willing to change. When I first started this business, I loved math, I loved numbers, but I didn't like talking to people. I didn't like being in social settings, social environments. But guess what, guys? Within a year and a half, I was able to hit Chairman 10. How is that even possible? Why? Because I realized trading, I'm going to make millions with trading. But what I had to realize was I have to be making money in some shape or form that's not a job so that I can really learn trading. Because if all my time's at a job, I'm stressed out, I'm worried about money, I don't have a lot of money, but if I get residual income, now I have more time to focus on learning trading. Now I have money coming in so I don't have to worry about if I lose money trading because I realize it's a process. And think about it like this. If you lose money your first year trading, your first 6 months, 3 months, that's your tuition. Think about it as your tuition, guys. Like you threw away 30 racks in college, you still owe 20. Like you might as well blow a couple of accounts on your process of learning. Like, guys, this will set you free. You just have to allow it to. You have to be willing to learn and willing to change. Set a trading plan, stick to it. There's people that literally trade break and retest that made 7 figures, guys. I literally cannot make this up. And break and retest is the most basic strategy that, guys, it still works. Like, I mean, it literally still works, but it's very basic. Most people make fun of it. Oh, it's for beginners, but people can still make money because they follow the rules. Okay? They follow the rules. If you guys are getting value from this call, if you guys learned something tonight, can you drop a 1 in the chat for me? I want to make sure you guys are listening. You guys are hearing me. Is this making sense to you guys? Is this making sense? It'll work out for you guys. You have to allow it to. Okay? Master 1 pair. I'm going to give you guys an example of some confirmations you can take. Let me just go ahead and mark up the chart. So I'll show you guys some trades I've taken in the last 2 weeks with gold. So first and foremost, guys, understand that I'm a price action trader. I trade price action first. I do incorporate some smart money. I don't primarily trade smart money. I primarily trade zones and candles. And a lot of the times it just happens to line up with smart money. And a lot of times, shout out to Hassan, it lines up with the 88 fib. And when I get a candle and a smart money if I get a smart money candle confirmation at the 88 fib, I'm throwing my account on. No, I'm just kidding. I'm following my trading plan. Right? But guys, when you get more confirmations, when you get all the confirmations in the world, take the trade, okay? Whatever your rule is, if you have 2 confirmations, if you have 3, 4, whatever it is, when you get your confirmations to enter, here's what you want to do. Enter the trade, have 0 expectation whether it wins or loses. You don't care. You're just executing your plan. That's it. That's it. You don't care if it wins. You don't care if it loses. Like I said, if you lose a trade that's following your trading plan, you actually won the trade because you're going through the numbers, guys. If you do 1 to 3 risk to reward and you win 50%, you're profitable by a lot. If you do 1 to 5, you could win 30% and be profitable by a lot. Okay? Understand that and understand you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect, guys. You do not have to be perfect. If you win 8 out of 10 on a 1-to-1, yeah, you're also a lot in profit. But no, it's not about perfection. It's about risk to reward and understanding as an investor what opportunity can I set myself up for to minimize my risk but also maximize my potential reward. What would be the best setup that I could take? Not like what can I do to make money in the next hour? Don't think about it like that. What can I do this week? How many trades can I take? What setup should I take? How many and what risk to reward would I take by the end of the week to be in profit? Okay, that's what you got to think about. Don't think about what can I do to make money right now. That's not an investor mindset. That's a gambler mindset. That gambler mindset will make you broke a lot faster than it'll make you rich. And some of you probably already know that. So get rid of it. And it's okay, guys. I was like that for a very long time. Even though this is what happened to me, guys. So although it took me a year to quit my job, I really could have quit it in 6 months. But I was too greedy and impatient. I would be consistent for 2 months straight. I would have 2 months straight of probably going from 500 to 1,500 with 3% risk. And then I would lose 500 in one day or 1,000 in one day. And then I would be like so pissed off that I would like think about quitting. And then I would wait a week to trade again. And then 2 months later, I've grown the account from 1,000 to 3,000. And the next thing you know, I lose 2,000 in one day. Boom, just like that. And I was like, bro. And I was so pissed off at myself. I knew it was my fault. And then next thing I know, I fund $500, right? And I kept refunding. How many of you guys keep refunding? Guys, save yourself the time and just think of this as a long-term game and stop trying to be a gambler, okay? I promise you guys, the math will add up when you allow it to. You have to be consistent. And think about it like this. The more you master your trading plan, the more specific you are on what percentage you win and what's your average growth in the week, in the month. You know these numbers, therefore you can start scaling up more, right? You can't start scaling up more because you're impatient to make money. Scale up more because you know how accurate you are. You guys know why Jake Wood is able to flip these accounts? It's because he knows his rules and he knows what he enters off of. He has a really good risk to reward on his trades. Therefore, he gets a perfect entry and he can drop lots on it. Why do you guys think Johnny Pham can sit here and drop 5 standards on one trade? It's because he has 0 drawdown. Because he's back tested. He knows what he's entering off of. He literally knows his plan. He knows what he's risking. He knows what his reward is. He knows this is my entry. This is my setup. Boom. I found it. This is exactly what I look for. I'm in. just like that. If he knows he wins 9 out of 10 on scalping, he's going to go in on that. He's going to go in on those trades. But if you just impatient, you're like, oh, I want to make money too. Let me do it too. Boom. No, do not do that. Back test, back test, back test. While you're back testing, you can take signals at proper risk, at low risk, if you want to make money. But if you guys really want me to be real with you, the fastest way to make money in this business, build a business with the money you make with that, put it in your trading account. That's the fastest way to make money. Or if you have a high income job, you can do that, right? Some of you guys maybe, I have had people on my team that had a really high paying job, but they were able to just fund 10 racks in their trading account right off the rip. Okay, if you're not in that situation, you guys are probably going to have to build a business like me. Guys, I didn't want to build a business when I started. Like I said, 1.5 years in, I hit Chairman 10. I didn't even want to build. I just wanted to get 2 and free, I wanted to learn trading. I did not want to build at all. I did not want to build at all. I just wanted to get 2 and free. But I realized for me to sit here and drop a standard, I have to have more money in my bank account. I can't sit here. I was getting like 200 a week at my job. Like I literally am not going to be able to trade with that. You know what I mean? So I had to start hitting ranks. And while the process of doing that, I realized that I was actually helping other people. And once I realized I was starting to help other people, I realized I found the fulfillment in this, guys. Trading is fun. You're making money. That's dope. That's awesome. But when you help someone else make money, that's fulfillment because you did something to better the world. Like, you know how happy it makes me that Jake Wood, shout out to Jake Wood, bro. He literally just made, like last week, I don't know if you guys know this, he made $4,000 last week trading. He just got an apartment, furnished his apartment last week. You guys realize he doesn't even have a rank in the company. It's all trading. It's all trading. So don't sit here and think, oh, we're talking about building. Guys, he wouldn't even have found out about trading if me and Kyle Robinson didn't tell him. He wouldn't even have known about it. But because we were willing to share this with someone else, he was able to get results faster than some of us. Okay? It's not about what you can do, but it's about what you have access to, who you have access to. Maybe you're that person, you don't have a lot of time to learn how to trade right now. Maybe you're in school, maybe you have a busy schedule, but you know that this has a lot of value and you know someone else that this could really impact. You know someone else this could really impact. So you're going to go ahead and share it with them. They may master before you, but because you were willing to share it with them, you just changed someone else's life. You don't have to be a master. You will become one if you allow yourself to. Just keep being consistent. Trading plan, guys. I'm going to give you guys, before I end this call, I didn't even go, I'm sorry, guys. I got so into the mindset and the psychology of things, I didn't even show the chart. But like I said, guys, if you don't understand what I just told you the first 45 minutes, the chart is not going to matter at all. Like, at all. And I promise you that. If you don't understand what I just told you, the chart will not matter. The chart, of course, is important. That's how we, analyze things. But if you don't have the right perception and the reason why you're doing it, it's not really going to matter. So with that being said, guys, what I trade, I'll show you an example. I'll show you one example of a trade I took. This is the best setup. This was the setup of the week as far as like the most confirmations I've had on a trade this week. So let me go ahead and just take it back. The beginning of the week was right here. Right? Beginning of the week was right here. If you guys remember, gold gapped up 100 pips and then flew up another 100 right after, right? So with my confirmation, with my rules, one of my confirmations is liquidity zone or mitigation candle or 71, 79, 88 fit. Those are my zones that I will look for trades in, right? Those are my zones. Okay. For entries is either a candle confirmation or it's a limit on a mitigation candle. And what I mean by mitigation candle, like I don't sit here, I'm not going to say that I copy Zach and Jordan exactly. I've seen a few of their sessions, but I really, to be honest with you, I learned smart money in person with Gustavo back in the spring, in the summer, because I was with him on tour. Because like I said, I had my strategy on gold that worked. It was zones and candles. So when people were talking about smart money, I wasn't really too into it because I already had my strategy that worked. So I wasn't really trying to entertain other things. But it got to the point where I saw too many sniper entries and I had to be a part of it. So the first trade of the week was this. Let me just double check this. What it is. Okay, no. So candle confirmation would be, if you guys see on the higher time frame, that 1588 was actually a wick on the daily somewhere or something like that. It was a wick from like far to the left. So this being the up candle For those of you that trade smart money, this probably makes sense to you. Hopefully it does. I don't really care what you call it. This is how I trade. And that was the candle, right? And I put a limit at the 50% of that candle. Okay? And the reason why is because I've seen this multiple times in gold. Like I said, I trade the same pair for over a year. I see what happens on gold when it gaps up. It keeps going, and then eventually it stops. It rejects, goes down, comes back, boom, right? So I was waiting for this to happen. I already was expecting this to happen. So I put a limit right there. I put the stop loss right here. I put the stop loss right above the high. Good risk reward. I risked 15 pips. Okay? So on the 5-minute, let me break it down. I had my take profit. I had my take profit right there, 1576. That was my risk reward. It was 4.56. I was risking 20 to 25 pips for 100 pips, 150 pips, whatever it was, right? That was the first trade of the week that I took. What happened was, I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't follow my trading plan. I actually closed it a little bit early, got a little bit impatient. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm still learning. We're always learning, guys. We're always learning. I closed a little bit early. It was still a win. But if you look, it ended up actually going ahead and hitting the TP if we waited long enough. Let me take it to a higher time frame. Right? And if you guys don't know, Renee's going live in 10 minutes. So I'm going to try to wrap this up really quickly before we hop on the next call. But it ended up coming all the way back down. So that was trade number 1 of the week. Trade number 2, this is the one that had the most confirmations. Okay? So, guys, check this out. For those of you that know smart money, can you drop in the chat, what is this right here? What is the purple zone that I just marked? What is that? What would you call that? Can you guys type in the chat, what did I just mark? Right. Equal lows, a support, exactly, right? So check out this. Check out this, guys. What did this candle do? Right here. It went ahead and wiped out those stop losses, right? That down candle. So, right? Okay, bet. So when that happens and it has been mitigated, what people will do, for me personally, I've marked the open of the candle, okay? My rules and my trading plan is I will take a limit off the open if the stop loss is 30 pips or less. If it's more than 30 pips, I'm going to do it off the 50% of the candle instead. That's my rule, okay? That's personally my rule in my trading plan. So what I did was, check this out. Let's see, what was it? So what I did, I believe it was this, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, okay. So I drew a fib there, okay? And what happened was, the open of that candle, which is also a mitigation candle, happened to line up almost exactly between, it was right between the 71 and the 79. So right in my pocket of money that I would like to enter a good, fib, whatever. I barely even trade fibs. It's just an extra confirmation, right? So what I did was I actually had a buy limit right there. I had a buy limit at the open of that candle, stop loss here, and my take profit was somewhere up here, something like that. And if you guys see what happened, check this out. What happens? Let's see what happens. It wicked it to the T. It comes out, wicks the 79 to the T, comes up here. And what happened is I actually took a partial profit. It didn't get all the way to my TP. I took a partial profit. The rest at break even. Okay, as you guys can see. Okay. So those are the 2 main trades of the week. And I actually took a buy this morning that I could break even again. But it's very simple, guys. Like, I'm not the best trader. I'm not trying to be the best trader. What I'm trying to do is be the best version of me that is going to be, I'm the best at executing my trading plan. Because I can always adjust my trading plan to make it better. But I can't always be perfect because I'm human. I can always try to be better at executing my trading plan, but I can't be perfect. I'm a human, right? So just have your trading plan. But guys, I'm going to go ahead. We have 5 minutes for Renee's calls. You set limits or just watch the business in the zone, right? So unless there is a clear mitigation candle, what I'm gonna do is, okay, good question. So for me personally, for my own rules, what makes sense to me is if the mitigation candle is far away, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for candle confirmation. But let's say there's a 4-hour candle. Let's say, okay, let me see. Where's an example? Okay, let's just say, for example, this right here. Actually, no. Let me go ahead and do GJ. I remember there's a good example on GJ. If it's far away, I'm going to wait. But if there's a 4-hour mitigation candle, 1 hour, 2 hour, whatever it is, once it rejects and gives me the up, down on it, then I'm going to set the limit at the up, because then I'm getting like a 10 pip stop loss. Guys, I'll lose 10 pips 10 times in a row, and I will not care. Okay? The last thing I'm going to do is set a 40 pip stop loss, because I don't do that. I don't set a 50 pip stop loss. That's another rule I have. 30 pips is the max stop loss I will set. If I can't get a 1 to 2 with a 30 pip stop loss or better, I don't feel like entering the trade. I don't see a reason. When Hassan can sit here and find 12 pip stop loss and catch 90 pips, there's no reason that I need to take a 40 pip stop loss. And that's why, like, I will tell you guys, Luke Longmire, he makes a lot of money trading. But the way he trades now, with this 1-to-1, I don't personally like it because of the 1-to-1 risk reward. He wins a lot of the time, but I don't really like the 40, 50 pip stop loss. I don't like putting that risk on my account. I would much rather have a $300 account and risk 100 for 500, or risk 50 for 300, and then really, really take a good, decent percentage of my account. And it would take multiple losses in a row to wipe off what I just made. That's the way I look at it. I don't want to sit here and try to be perfect the whole time, because, like, I have a trading plan. I'm going to follow the rules. Oh, sorry. I was going to give you the example. So this would have been the example. This was actually the candle I was looking for on DJ last week. This right here, probably some of you guys had this marked up as well. That little area right there. And if you guys see, it actually swept the high on that. I don't put a limit here because it would have been about a 50 pip stop loss. And I don't like to do a 50 pip stop loss when I can just be patient and wait for a better entry. Okay. And if it doesn't happen during the time that I want to trade, I don't care, because that's not my rules. I don't want to sit here on the charts all day. And I also don't want to set a limit to put a 50 pip stop loss. So that's just me personally. That makes sense to me. It doesn't have to make sense to you. But whatever makes sense to you, just check that out. So with GJ, what it did was, when it actually go ahead and went to that candle, this is what happened. It did it again. This is what I'm talking about right here. If you guys look to the left, this candle, those wicks right there, right here, it rejected this candle, right? And then what did you see happen? We had a candle that broke the equal highs, came down. So what I did was I put a limit at the 50%. And what happened? The 50%. Why? Because if I put it at the open, it was going to be like, that still would have only been like a 25, 30 pip stop loss. But I like the 50 there. So I did the 50. Okay. But that was, like I said, that was a back test, because I don't trade GJ live. I've only just now been back testing it the last week or two. That's me personally. So, guys, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get ready for Renee's call. Appreciate everyone for hopping on. I hope you guys have some value from that call. Make sure, guys, if you are planning on going to London, make sure you get your passports right now. Make sure you get your tickets. If not, get ready for New York, March 14th. I will see you guys there. Let's level up. Let's get it. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.